So occasionally, if I ever get deep into an argument, or, a debate. Honestly, if it goes that deep, it's more of a debate than an argument. Talking with people, debating the merits of communism, and sometimes one of the things they'll bring up, again, really deep into it after the usual, my starvation, my human nature, all that stuff has been dispensed with. One of the things they'll bring up is art under communism. And a lot of times, they'll say, well, under a communist system, all art would be the same in propaganda, because they're coming at it, they just think all communism is Marxism, Leninism. And to be fair, I can't say I'm the most knowledgeable about, Soviet film and literature written under Soviet Russia, so I might be wrong here. But yeah, to my knowledge, there wasn't a ton of great art that came out of the Soviet Union or Vietnam or North Korea. Things like that. So, here's the point. These authoritarian leftist countries, because I think that's kind of the nature of authoritarianism, is to stifle creativity, at least to a certain extent. However, under a prolonged anarcho-communist society, because all the anarcho-communist societies that have existed have not existed for very long due to outside factors. But in a prolonged anarcho-communist society, art would surely flourish in a way that it never has before. Really for, obvious reasons. One, people don't have to worry about, meeting popular demand. People don't have to worry about art being accessible to the common person. They don't have to worry about, public reception. They can make the art that is the truest to their soul. Also, they... Excuse me. Ugh. Christ. The team that would be ostensibly helping them with it, because, if it's a big art project, probably require more than one person. They're doing it as a labor of love, because they see the creative merit in what the main artist behind it is doing, and thus they, they're going to try and fulfill that instead of just doing it because they're paid to do it. Or alternatively, it could be a group of artists working on something, whatever it is. Working on it with fucking equal creative input. And all this is opposed to kind of the the current capitalistic form of production of art, which obviously capitalism, or artists under capitalism rather, have produced a lot of great art. I mean, most art has been under capitalism. So I can't front and say that, it's been horrible or anything like that. But what I can say is that it is stifling to a certain extent, especially as we've gotten into later stages of capitalism. You have huge public outcry. Why are you getting into liberal arts, okay? Why are you trying to become an artist? Why are you trying to be in a band? All that stuff. Which is a very socially acceptable and very common viewpoint. We, in America at least, we don't hate art, but we discourage people from becoming artists because it doesn't pay the bills. Because it's not very likely that you will become successful doing it, even if what you're making is amazing. Not necessarily going to be successful. And what kind of inspired me to make this video, speaking of things that are fantastic and unsuccessful, Super Eye Patch Wolf recently put out a video talking about the movie Red Line, which was in production for like 9 years. And was just this incredibly meticulously crafted, hand-drawn anime movie, which, you know, the visuals are just like 10 out of 10, amazing, out of this world. It's a well put together story, just a fantastic movie. However, the budget was ridiculously huge, as you would expect, taking 9 goddamn years to finish. And it wasn't a huge financial success, as you would kind of almost expect for a movie with the visuals being as out there as they are on Redline. And so, the director of that film is less likely to get work in the future because he directed what is considered a financial failure, even if artistically it was a great success. And there's similar stories about a lot of films, like, what's it called? The Thief and the Cobbler or something? You know, it's this really famous animated movie that, you know, this, I forget the fucking animator's name. You know, he worked for, like, decades on, and was ultimately scrapped because the movie studio didn't want to pay him to do it anymore. Or didn't want to have to deal with it and stuff. And so it was, they stitched together, you know, kind of the bits of it that were done, slapped some shit on it as another movie. I forget what the name of the other version is. And basically it was kind of shitty. And that is, and again, obviously, there's some amazing art under capitalism. Basically, yeah. But it is stifling to a certain extent. I think there'd be a lot more great art under anarcho-communism or final form communism, whatever you want to say, where budget and time and audience and all the stuff that hinder creative freedom wouldn't be an issue. And you could create art unfettered by any of that. So, I mean, yeah, it's just a little kind of, not really a super important thing, but, enough, fucking art is important.